In order to get a shot at your YouTube video ranking high, you need to implement some SEO best practices. But what exactly can you do? In today's episode, I want to give you 6 tips and tricks that you can implement on your videos today to help you rank higher on YouTube. So to get all of my tips, listen on. This is episode number 199. Alright, so make sure to like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you are a podcast listener, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So in today's episode, I want to talk more about YouTube and how you guys can implement YouTube best practices to help your YouTube videos rank higher. Because at the end of the day, that's really the goal, right? When you publish your videos, you want to make them discoverable, and you also want to make them rank as high as possible so you can reach more of your audience. So here are some 6 tips and tricks that you guys can implement today. So the first tip is something that you may know already, but I think it's really important for us to mention it. And that's to use end cards. All right, so you need to suggest more videos from your channel using end cards. So end cards are essentially the links that you can add to the very end of your video. And you can add, I think, 4 things. You can add the subscribe link. You can add a link to a specific video. You can add a link to a playlist. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can add a link to an outside website. But in order to do that, I think you need to have a certain number of followers or apply for it. But in my case, what I do is at the end of all of my YouTube videos, I have a specific, you can call it a slide, where it's just kind of like a blank background. And that allows me to add these end cards. So for these podcast episodes, I always put 2 end cards. The first one is to link to the subscribe channel link. And then the second one is a link to the Calm Marketer playlist. So people can click on that and watch any video in the Calm Marketer playlist. All right, so the whole goal is to make other videos discoverable. So give other people some options on what other videos you have that they can watch and consume. And the next tip is to use playlists to keep people watching. All right, so Chase Reiner, he's an SEO expert, and in one of the videos in the Facebook group I'm a part of, it's called The Elites, and he recommends and he swears by this tactic by coupling YouTube videos into playlists that follow a certain theme. So if you have maybe like a 5-step process, you can split it into the videos into 5 steps and then create a playlist. And according to Chase, he says that helps a lot to get more viewers on his videos. And if you want to join the Elites program, it's basically a bunch of SEO experts, affiliate marketers, learning from each other. And if you want to learn more about it, just go to thecalmmarketer.co/chase to learn more and sign up. But use playlists to get more views. And that's something that I use as well. So I have one for the Calm Marketer podcast, for software reviews, for specific softwares, so on and so forth. And that helps a lot. So the third tip is to find keywords for your channel. So this one is very SEO related, and it's all about keywords. So whenever I create a video, I always want to make sure I am hitting specific types of keywords. And if you haven't noticed, I am using a lot of keywords in my intro, such as YouTube SEO, tips and tricks, how to rank higher, how to rank your YouTube video, things like that. I am actually specifically saying, just so like that, I am mentioning those popular keywords. Now, how do you find those popular keywords that people are typing in? I recommend two places. The first one is called SEMrush. It's a very, very powerful tool that I've been using since I think 2013. It's a very solid keyword research tool. I think it's the best one, and that's something that I always recommend. You can type in any type of keyword you want, and it'll give you a whole list of related keywords with their search volume. And it's important that you focus on the related keywords with good search volume, but also isn't that competitive, right? Especially if you are a newer channel, you want to make sure that you are choosing the keywords that are not too competitive so that you have the opportunity to rank high on YouTube. Now, the second tool I recommend is LSI Graph. You don't even need an account. It's completely free. I think for your first 5 searches a day, it's completely free. And I always use that as well to do a quick search to make sure that I'm targeting the right keywords, and I get other additional ideas where I might be lost. I don't know what kind of additional keywords to mention. I always go to lsigraph.com to get those additional keywords. All right, so now once you have your keywords, what do you do with them? So you need to mention specific keywords in your title. So the YouTube video title is probably one of the biggest ranking factors for your YouTube video. Same with websites. The title tag for your page is one of the biggest ranking factors. So you want to make sure you have a solid title that mentions specific keywords. So aside from the keyword research, you can do a few other things too. You could use YouTube autocomplete to see phrases that people are searching for, right? So it's one thing to know about specific keywords to add, but what kind of additional phrases? How do you structure your YouTube titles? What do you start off with? What additional keywords you should add? You find that by using YouTube autocomplete. So just go to the YouTube search, type in your keyword, and see what other phrases show up. And that will be a perfect guide for you that you can follow. You can also use a number in your title as well. So number of tips, steps, strategies, the current year, or the results, right? So in this specific video, I say 6 tips and tricks, right? I'm adding a number in my title. And you can also use parentheses, colons, dividers to make it more readable. I'm using this as well. So on this video, I typed in YouTube SEO colon, all right? And then try to make your title between 30 to 45 characters. The shorter, the better if you can, but longer is okay. But try to make it as concise as possible so it doesn't get truncated in the YouTube search. You want to make sure everything is readable. All right, so going to the next tip, you want to make sure that you make your video descriptions helpful. You want to make sure they are helpful. So add important links, add timestamps, and also get an out. And you can actually get an outline in the free PDF. To kind of jump back a little bit, I'm going a little bit too far, but add important links, right? So add links to, like for example, if you look at the description for this episode, I add links to have people subscribe to the podcast. I add a link so people can leave a rating and review. I add affiliate links. And depending on the video, I also add links to other of my YouTube videos or other resources that I mentioned in the video. I always add it in the description. And also with timestamps, I need to be better at this. I know in the beginning, I did take a lot of time creating timestamps, and I need to get back into that, but that also helps as well. Make it as helpful as possible. And also going back to the outline, so I have this free PDF. It's called Noah's Favorite Stolen Tips from Top YouTubers. Now this PDF is over 40 pages long, and on page, let me try to quickly find it, but it's on the first half of the PDF. Noah actually gives you a format that you can use to structure your video descriptions. All right, so let me see here. I think it is on page 19. Yeah, page 19. So download this free PDF. just go to thecalmmarketer.co/YouTube tips to download the free PDF. And also, last but not least, same with SEO, you want to make sure you have high click-through rate, right? So, in your Google Search Console, you could see all of the pages and their click-through rate. You want to make sure that you have high click-through rate for your YouTube videos as well. So improve your click-through rates with better thumbnails. And this is something that I'm slowly testing out. For these podcast episodes, I'm slowly trying to figure out other design techniques, styles, backgrounds, colors that I can use to improve the click-through rates for these YouTube videos. So always test things out, see what works, what doesn't work, and make sure you aim to have a click-through rate of around 10% or higher if possible. Higher is always good, but at least 10% is the metric to go for. All right, so make sure if you are enjoying this video, like this video. If you like this content, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And also for all of my podcast listeners, I invite you to go to ratethispodcast.com/thecalmmarketer. That's ratethispodcast.com/thecalmmarketer to leave me a rating and review. So with that said, I will see you tomorrow for episode 200. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.